Hi, Mark here. Wednesday, May the 13th, 9:23 a.m. Eastern. US session well underway, and let's have a look at the US dollar's performance today. There we see strong follow-up from yesterday. Demand for US dollars, the index gaining again. I've got support 98.13 and resistance 98.48. Higher high, higher low. So certainly a strong start for the US dollar. We saw it through the Asian European session, continuing at this point through the US session. We'll see whether buyers and demand for US continue and this resistance does get tested to the upside. If we're going to get a turnaround from strong to weak US dollar, perhaps a bounce down off this 98.48 resistance area, and sellers would look back down to the 98 level. Let's have a look at the majors starting on the Euro US. And there you see red candlestick selling euro, buying US, strong US dollar against the euro today, just like we saw on the index. Lower high, lower low. I've got support right now at 117.01. I've got resistance at 117.44. EMAs at this point have crossed to the downside. You can see the double top, triple top has certainly played out, and we'll see if this strong US dollar demand for US dollar continues through the US session, or if we get a turnaround, a bounce up off this support area, and we go from strong to weak US dollar, and buyers of euro, sellers of US step in in this area at this level and look back up to the 117.44 resistance. But strong US dollar to start against the euro. Let's have a look at the pound against the US. And there you see as well, similarly, two red candlesticks, just like the euro, selling pound, buying US dollar strength against the pound this morning continuing. EMAs have crossed to the downside. I've got support at 134.83 and I've got resistance at 135.51. We'll see if this does continue. US dollar strength able to test break below this support or a turnaround from strong to weak US dollar, and buyers look to bounce up off this level and look back up at getting higher than the 135. We've got resistance 135.51. US dollar against the yen. Also, again, strong US dollar. There you see it continuing uptrend, just like on the other two majors. Higher highs, higher lows. I've got support today at 157.54, and I've got resistance at 157.90. Tough to get to that 158 level. Has been rejected before. You can see that. We'll see whether US dollar strength continues and buyers able to get to test that 158 or higher. A turnaround from strong to weak US dollar would see a bounce down off this area, and sellers look to come back and test the 157.54 on the downside. US dollar against the Canadian. A little bit of a different picture here. Here we're not seeing US strengthening against the Canadian. It did earlier, you can see a wick in both directions, but unable to maintain a doji candlestick confirming the indecision. I've got support at 136.84, and I've got resistance at 137.10. Buyers will want to get back above that 137, look to test this tough resistance level at 137.10, 12, which it's been unable to do. Or if we get a bounce down off this area and from strong US to weak US, sellers will look down at this 136.84 support level. But for now, back where it closed yesterday. So we're seeing strong US dollar to start. We're seeing it against on the index, against the euro, against the pound, and against the yen. Not so much against the Canadian as yet, but support and resistance levels being tested with a strong US dollar. let's see how that plays out during the rest of the US session. Good trading, and I'll see you at the end of day.